Do you have a Disneyland trip coming up? Are you planning one? Or are you a Magic Key annual pass holder? Looking for a few ways to save some money during your next visit to Disneyland. Hi, I'm Serein, and I've got 10 tips to help you save a little bit of money during your next Disneyland visit. If you're new, I am a toddler mom, and my toddler is currently under the age of 3, which means that she does not need a ticket or an annual pass in order to enter the park. And if we're sitting down for any of the buffets or per person charged restaurants, she does not count as well. So she gets to eat for free for those. And that applies for both Disneyland as well as Disney World parks. But both my husband and I do have Magic Key annual passes. We have the Inspire keys, and the 10 tips I'm sharing with you will not need any of the Magic Keys in order to save some money. These are things that we've learned in the last few months since becoming annual pass holders and visiting the park at least once a week. Tip number 1, never buy water at the park. Ever. It is so overpriced, and most of it is Dasani water, which I personally just don't like the taste of. You can upgrade to the smart water, but I can't justify paying that much for a bottle of water. Here's what we recommend doing, is making sure you pack a water bottle for the adults and one for the kids. We usually bring my giant 40-ounce Stanley water bottle filled before going to the park, and a small water bottle for my daughter. That's also filled before we enter the park. If we need to refill, there are plenty of water fountain stations throughout the park that are easily located via the app or the map. Or you can ask a cast member and they would be happy to direct you to the nearest water fountain. Now, if you prefer ice water and don't really love the idea of using a water fountain, not to worry. There are quick service restaurants everywhere, and all of them have free ice waters ready to go for you. All you have to do is ask. If both of those ideas don't sound pleasing to you, there's always a Starbucks in the park, and the Starbucks uses triple filtered reverse osmosis water. You can always ask Starbucks to give you a venti large ice cup of water, and you know that it's triple filtered reverse osmosis. And that way you can refill your water bottles, or you can just drink the venti cup. There's no need to be wasting precious dollars on water when it is readily available for free throughout the park. Tip number 2 is take advantage of all of the free souvenirs that the park has to offer. Oftentimes, cast members will have stickers and buttons to help you celebrate whichever reason you are visiting the park. If you're celebrating a birthday, make sure to visit any of the shops on Main Street or guest services to ask for a birthday pin. It's also lovely to get it at the beginning of your trip because all the cast members will wish you a happy birthday throughout your visit. If you're there to celebrate a graduation, a pregnancy, a wedding, an anniversary, they have a button for you. They even have these really fun honorary citizen pins that we got gifted one time just for standing in line. If you're celebrating something, make sure you let a cast member know so that you can get a pin. Make sure you're being kind and not entitled when asking. Oftentimes, cast members will have stickers and little cards on them to hand to young kids. But once again, be kind and not entitled, and don't be disappointed if they don't have anything on them. If your kids are a little bit older, or if you want to try doing a scavenger hunt, you can go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and ask for a creature guide. Throughout the entire land, there are little footprints and trails that you can try to identify these creatures within the creature guide. They'll give you a little pencil as well so that you can mark it as you find things. They'll give you tips about each of the creatures, and when you finish, you can bring it back to receive a little souvenir button. Tip number 3 is to make sure you pack plenty of snacks throughout the day. This seems a little bit obvious, but so often you don't pack enough snacks, or you don't think to pack snacks because you know that the park is going to have some. But some of the biggest waste of money is having to buy small bags of chips, those cuties, bananas, or anything that doesn't seem that exciting or exclusive to the park. So save your food budget for things that are more park centered, like churros, Mickey pretzels, and ice creams, versus having to buy fruit and bags of chips that you would get for less than $1 at home. I always like to bring a small insulated cooler. It has to be soft, so make sure you're not bringing a full-size cooler or a cooler that is hard. Make sure to have reusable ice packs and not bring dry ice. Dry ice is not allowed in the parks. Some of the foods that I like to keep in our snack pouch is going to be small packages of chips, fruit. I like to pack a little thing of chicken for myself to add to any of our meals to bulk it up and add more protein. Some beef jerky, salmon jerky, and anything that I know my little one enjoys throughout the day and that can tide her over before we can get to the next meal if we need to. Now, if you like soda and would like to have soda throughout the day, it is completely okay to bring in your own soda in that lunch pail to keep it cool. I always like to throw in a couple cans of Coke Zero for myself and my husband, but if that runs out or you forgot or you don't want to bring your own soda, you can buy a cup at any of the quick service restaurants, but save your soda cup and refill it at Alien Pizza Planet, because one regular soda is $4.59, and we're okay with buying it once, but if we're gonna have one for every single meal, that starts to add up real quick. If you enjoy a scoop of ice cream on Main Street like we do, we realized that by purchasing a double scoop and asking for an extra cup and splitting it with our toddler is much more cost effective than buying everybody a single scoop. One single scoop ice cream cone at Gibson's is $5.29 and a double scoop is $5.99. So it's much more cost effective to buy a double scoop. You can even choose 2 different flavors, split it with your toddler or split it with your partner or friend. Tip number 6 is buy Disney themed toys out of the park, specifically Walmart or Kohl's. Bubble wands are about $30 in the park, and while we purchased one and get our use out of it, you can buy a much more affordable bubble wand online at Walmart or at Kohl's. We found one for like $7 on clearance at Kohl's. Stuffies. If you have a toddler that absolutely loves stuffed animals like mine, it can get real expensive real fast. But here are some of the stuffies we purchased at Walmart and Kohl's that were $10. This one actually was from Marshall's that we found on clearance, and it was about $12. It's from Walmart and it was $10. Absolutely amazing. They even have a Mickey one. And then this one is from Kohl's and this is $10. They also had Tigger, Winnie the Pooh, and Eeyore. Oh, and they had Stitch, all for $10. And profits go to a charity. And obviously there's gonna be way more characters at the park, but my recommendation is purchasing as much as you can outside of the park and allowing your kid to purchase 1 or 2 souvenirs during your trip if it's in your budget. This way they don't feel deprived. They might not even want anything when they get to the park. You can hide it in a bag, and when you're at the park, you can pull one out and be like, here you go. Stuffies, we always try to purchase outside of the park whenever possible, and of course we do treat her every so often to one there. Bubble wands are one of those things that I would highly recommend trying to purchase outside of the park, especially since they don't last very long. They do break very frequently and batteries die. Bring extra batteries, bring extra bubble juice if that is something that your child loves. My kid is obsessed with the bubble wand, so we oftentimes run out of bubble juice and I always refill it at home. They do sell bubble refills at the park. It's relatively affordable. It's like $2.99 or $2. However, you can get a giant jug of it for $5. So I always try to refill it at home and bring an extra little bit of it. I also would recommend purchasing extra batteries or reusable batteries and being able to switch out the batteries while you're in the park if you need to, if you have a kid that's a bubble fiend like mine. You can also find glow sticks, light up wands, all the fun things that you could see at the park. You can find them online at Walmart, at Kohl's. Any of these places are going to have Disney branded and licensed items for a fraction of the cost. Number 7 is bring your own stroller. Even if your child is at the age where they might not need a stroller, we recommend bringing a stroller because it is much more cost effective. It's $18 for a single stroller or $36 for a double stroller per day. These strollers that you'll be renting from Disneyland are also not the most comfortable easy to maneuver, or very clean. Your kid is going to be much happier in the stroller that they're used to and comfortable in, and it's probably going to be much more likely that if you're trying to attempt a stroller nap, that they'll do the stroller nap in a stroller they're familiar with. Compact strollers are some of my favorite. We have a Kalugo one that we use. She naps perfectly in it now, and it's easy to maneuver. It's compact and small enough to fold down quickly and get on a tram, but we prefer not to use the tram and walk from the parking structure to the park directly. You'll be able to carry more in one of your compact strollers or even your full-size stroller if you decide to bring your full size, because it'll have the undercarriage. And even if you don't think your kid needs it anymore, they're gonna get tired. It's an exhausting day if you're doing a full day at the park, or if you're doing multiple days at the park. Their feet's gonna get tired, they're gonna be tired, their schedule's gonna be slightly off, and they're gonna want a place to sit. So rather than having to carry them or fuss with them, it's just a better idea to have that stroller if you think at all you might need it. And if you don't need it, you can use it to carry all of your stuff. Number 8. In order to save on parking, we recommend looking at hotels nearby that offer free parking that also has free transportation to the parks, or is close enough to walk to the park, or close enough to do a ride share that's under $30. Parking at the park is about $30 a day for one vehicle. This is why if you're going to stay anywhere near the park, make sure it's either walking distance or they have free transportation or cost-effective transportation that's going to be cheap enough where you're saving that $30 a day for parking. Number 9, buy Disney gift cards using your Circle app or your Target credit card if you have one. Every time you shop at Target, you earn points for money back to be able to use back at Target. And since most of us can find something that we need at Target, like groceries, diapers, wipes, cleaning supplies, and such, the best way to get the most out of the money you're going to be spending anyways at Disneyland is buying Disney gift cards, but making sure you spend just the amount you need for Disney gift cards using your Circle app or your Target card to get even more points. Now, the key here is buying just enough gift cards to pay for all of the tickets and maybe a couple bucks left over for any snacks or incidentals. You don't want a ton of extra money left on these gift cards because you can only use them at Disney. The idea here is that you're going to be spending this money anyways at the parks, so you might as well get points back at a store that you'll most likely be able to get some use out of, like Target. Don't go into debt, don't overbuy, just buy what you need and make sure you pay that credit card off if you're using that credit card, and making sure that you get the most points for the dollar spent. And finally, number 10, if you or a family member have a AAA membership, you're able to save on Disneyland tickets. Always great to be able to save any amount when going to the parks, especially since it's going to be expensive no matter how you try to do it. But it's worth the experience, especially watching your little ones experience the park and the magic for the first time. We love going to Disneyland. We never thought we'd become essentially Disney adults now, or a Disney family, but it is one of our favorite things to do with our toddler, and we are very grateful that we're able to do it. Let me know in the comments if you tried out any of these tips, if you have tips I didn't mention, or if you like any other types of Disney videos here. I post lots of shorts as well as over on my TikTok and my Instagram. All of the stuff you might need will be linked in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!